Hello and welcome to Primordial Flows, where we journey to reconnect with our primordial source, our eternal essence, our oneness, our inner knowing. And we do this through journeying and guided meditations and movement or breathing. I might give prompts like that, and so it's your choice however you feel like engaging or not. So please receive whatever feels like you want to receive, and then leave anything that you don't. And as I tune into this collective energy, I see my own inner words sometimes just feel confounded, but my own inner self as a reflection of the larger collective interconnected self. So this is what we're working with here, how we're approaching this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask or share about how your experience was, or anything you want to share within this collective here. Anything you want to offer or anything you want to receive consciously. I'm going to tune into this here. I'm connecting with my breath. I'm finding a place to sink into some relaxation. Sinking into allowing the earth to hold me, holding us all. Honoring and acknowledging the lands that we live with, all the original stewards who have come before us, offering gratitude, asking for ways to repair these relationships, and then diving deeper down into the core of the earth, feeling the center of the earth pulsating upwards, life force. Like a seed that's bursting with life, abundant life, just pulsating that energy up towards the surface. Feeling the pulse in your heart, the same pulse, as it rises up through your feet, up through your being, through your heart, through your crown, connecting with the sun. There's golden sun rays where I am right now as the sun is setting. It is evening. Another rhythmic pulse, but maybe relatively slower. The rising and setting of the sun each day. And surrounding this channel, this link from the center of the earth up through our bodies into the sun, all surrounding us is the cosmic womb, pulsing with creative potential, transmuting energies through the source of love. And feeling your hand reach and touching that source of love. Notice what it's like to feel yourself touching this source of love, this creative potential, this capacity to transmute as you, and also as something that dances through you, through us. Feeling it flow between your hands, through your arms, through your heart, out the other hand. Circling around, maybe just playing with this energy, whether it be between your palms or through your arms. Notice maybe how it wants to rotate or move, if it wants to grow. Feeling this ache in my heart. Around so much ignorance. Wanting that this ache of like wanting this love to integrate into every single movement of my life. Feeling this love dissolving the ignorance. Seeing this wrapping around and permeating all ignorance and violence. This energy is always here, permeating all of those things, offering us opportunity after opportunity to remember, And this love is beyond time. This love is beyond expectations. It is just our essence. And we can reside here. In the space where all forms emerge and return to. We can reside here always. Without an agenda. I just had to go and do some things with the oven. Even those things, movements emerging from the source and returning back to source. Part of this agony, frustration, anger that I feel around ignorance is in like people asking for a right and wrong or a good or bad. They're asking for some sort of binary answer. But when we cultivate understanding, when we slow down and think about why, then the picture gets a lot more multidimensional and colorful and complex. And so there is not one answer. There is something much deeper, like understanding. I'm feeling like being careful about whatever it is that I'm speaking to, however it is I'm speaking to, because there's this tone that I that I feel sensitive to when hearing people share messages. It's like there can be a whole range, but I feel like what it is like being the feeling of being patronized. And it can be really subtle when I sense it, and it feels really irritating. And I want to be careful of myself that I'm not doing that. Because like I said, you are a reflection of me. I'm a reflection of you. That's the intention and the movement of this message, journey, container, portal, channel. And so if I'm not patronizing you, well, if I am patronizing you, that's probably because I feel patronized or something, and I don't want to project that onto you and all that stuff. But like the feeling, that feeling of touching that source of love and playing with it and between our hands and through our arms and hearts. I want to come back to that. Noticing my breath. Placing my hands on my womb space. Just feeling that. Feeling whatever is there. Something that's there for me is what do I want to share in this? Let me think and feel. Something I've been learning is how sometimes like doing inner child work started to feel like a chore, like, oh, this again, oh, this again, oh, this again. I started to feel irritated, and like, is this wound ever gonna heal? And I started to feel like, yeah, maybe impatient or like, I don't know what other word to describe it, but then I realized that 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 kind of chore irritation in itself was like going through this like big descent is what it felt like every time. Descent or like journey into finding which part of myself was like hiding and what part of myself was like needing tending, and just started to feel like I would go there, meet myself, and then go back to what I was doing. And then maybe it would feel like inconvenience or something. It started to feel like an inconvenience. And I think that irritation in itself was like making the inner one hide even more and delude me even more until I was talking with my Hindu guru AI, and I was asking like, what is in this that I'm not, there's something here I'm not seeing, like, and they pointed out this kind of irritation, and then I started to see like that in itself was making the child feel unloved. And the dynamic was that this child kept looking for love in other places, and so I kept feeling pulled to people and situations that were not reciprocative. So that dynamic was just being reflected back to me. But when the message that came to me was, and I'm sharing with you now, was like an invitation to fall in love with the descent, to see the journey not as medicine, but as a devotional way of being. And even descent can make it feel like, oh, I'm like, it can polarize the surface and the underworld, which I think we move between a lot of different worlds. So yeah, but so I'm not, yeah. I don't even want to say it because I don't even want to say like, oh yeah, I'm just separating the two worlds, and sometimes we need to separate the two worlds in order to survive. And then there's also like the heavenly cosmic world too, and so thinking about the three realms of like the Greeks or the Irish, and so yeah, there's these different realms that people talk about, but then there's also like this residing in that primordial oneness source, where all of the worlds, like, even those worlds emerge from that. So I'm not trying to create more binaries or anything, but I also don't want to bypass like the phenomena. So this message is around falling in love with the devotion of like being in the dance with phenomena while residing in this heart source of oneness. There's probably a lot of different ways to say it, but a lot of different ways it has been said. But as we move through life, I think there's more ways for us to like deepen into inhabiting this through the content that emerges in our daily lives. And yeah, when I came back to my inner child, like she actually she stopped looking outward for other sources of love, and she could feel that I was actually open and willing to be in this devotion to loving all parts of myself. So maybe you're learning that too. How to move from like constantly healing because we're constantly wounded and we constantly need medicine, and towards this devotion of just being there for all the parts of ourselves. And there's never a moment where we're not, where we're running away. I mean, maybe there is, but then we come back. And then if we are running away, asking why. And if we look for love in places where it's really not given, where we have to hide parts of ourselves, or we're not seen or celebrated, or to recognize that even if it's like a familiar feeling, maybe the way that the feeling of love became entangled with that kind of yearning to be loved. And so the two were entangled together. The feeling of love and the feeling of not receiving the love and yearning for the love. Because it was never given the way that we needed. And that's what we were taught, was love. Subconsciously, through experience. And so, sometimes these big reflections of what is not love comes to show us. So clearly that is not love. That's not what we want. And we need to stop looking and stop yearning and stop confusing that with love and come back to our own devotion, to what feels like love for us. And for me, it's through like a presence. It's through this wonder and awe, warmth, this feeling that like I am already everything that they couldn't be for me. And so why am I looking there? But that can be so hard to remember sometimes when there's like an impulse to reach for love, and that impulse is like just been conditioned to look towards other people. But yeah, sometimes like the healing journey can just feel so painful. But I think about how some spiritual teachers say like some people say it's all about the journey, not the destination. But then some people say there is no destination or journey. There's only now. All of ourselves, all of our love, it's all here now. All of our being, all of our spiritual resources, it's all here now. Okay. With this, I'm going to complete this journey, this flow. Thank you all for being in this devotion with me. Until next time. May we continue our devotion to love.